Today's episode is sponsored by our good friends at PGX Comics, professional grading experts. Click on the link below. Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Codename New 202. Hi, I'm your presenter, Shabu Argue. Well, we're going to do another of our monthly PGX unboxing episodes, and this one's going to be a little bit more special. With Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage finally coming out last week and currently holding the #1 movie in America spot, these are several issues that may not be the ultimate keys, but they're keys nonetheless. And these characters, these issues are relating to Carnage, Venom, anything about all of that in that wheelhouse. Also, I'm going to showcase one of my favorite G.I. Joe covers, and I kind of timed this out perfectly. So we're going to do another PGX unboxing at the end of the month, which is going to be a great Halloween extravaganza. So I have submitted some books that relate to Halloween, and stay tuned for that. But for now, let's get started with this month's PGX unboxing. Now, if you're new and it's your first time seeing this episode, I've been doing monthly PGX and EGS unboxing episodes to showcase that yes, there are alternatives to CGC. And if you've seen my earlier episodes, I feel that it's important to have good, healthy competition amongst these grading companies. If you put all your eggs in one basket, that's a recipe for disaster. Case in point, Toys R Us, Sears, so many companies that were one time the apex of that particular company or field or whatever, whether it be some hiring the wrong executive or some bad decisions, have had a major impact to the entire market that company is relating to. So I think this is and plus PGX and EGS are just fantastic. I mean, what I like about them versus CGC, and I was a CGC person, but the fact is you get customer service. You get to talk to real people, the same people. Every month when I submit, I talk to the same people about my orders that help me along the process. Turnaround time is great, and I don't understand why these companies aren't getting as much attention as CGC. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about CGC. It's just that it's good, it's healthy to have more than one company go ahead and grade our comic books for not just now, but the long-term stability and growth of this hobby. So the first book we're going to showcase is Secret Wars issue #1. Yes, this is the series that first introduced us to the black costume. And in an earlier episode, I don't think I've showcased this, but yeah, issue 8, we get the first appearance of the alien symbiote costume on SpiderMan. So this is a key book, and it's just one of those generational books no matter what. I mean, this is a CGC book that I had done in part of my collection a while ago. But PGX did a fantastic job on this, and it got a 7.0. And you got to remember, newsstands in modern comic collecting are more sought after, highly sought after, versus their direct edition counterparts. And you think about it, these books were in 7-Elevens, newsstands in the subway, all over the place. So the fact that it got a 7.0 when it was out there in the public and the masses, it cleaned up well. It was a lot dirtier when I first acquired this book, I remember, and I sent it to PGX to get clean and pressed, and they did a fantastic job. You could see the colors are more vibrant, and even the whites in the background right here, that pops, no dirt, no nothing. So the fact that this book got a 7.0 newsstand edition is a home run, and I am thrilled to finally pair these two together. That just looks good. And I also have the Secret Wars toys. So the black Spider-Man is going to go right in between these guys, and I think it's really important. So Secret Wars issue #1. The next book we're going to feature that PGX did a home run of a job on is Amazing Spider-Man #332. Now, Eric Larson's run with Venom, I sometimes feel that they don't get as much praise as the Todd McFarlane. Of course, issue number 300 and then 316, Venom's first cover appearance. But this issue is another excellent example of how Erik Larsen took this character, and he kind of, at the time, everyone was comparing him to McFarlane. And by now, he started to make a name for himself with covers like this. Again, the fact that Venom is jumping on top of Spider-Man, what a great cover. It often gets overlooked because of Amazing Spider-Man number 316, but 332 is a great issue. It has a Jay Leno cameo appearance, so I like how PGX doesn't miss those little details. So even if you're selling this or reselling, all the information to the prospective buyer or even you as a collector, PGX does a great job highlighting all of those things and making sure that the book is presentable and looks fantastic. I love this. Now, the next book I wanted to showcase that PGX did another great job on is Web of Spider-Man number 118. While it doesn't directly involve Venom and Carnage, but I do believe that in his first adventure, Ben Reilly, Peter Parker's clone, had to go up against Venom. And what's interesting with this book is I think you need to target this issue right now because of what's going to happen in Into the Spider-Verse. And he may be introduced into the MCU. It remains to be seen what's going to happen. But now's the time, because this book often gets overlooked and people just assume that, Web of Spider-Man, it's not as important as ASM. Don't think that. But again, look how this book is presented. And you see PGX did a great job highlighting that this is the first Scarlet Spider adventure. I think they did a great job with it. I love this book, and it just looks fantastic. So, Web of Spider-Man number 118. The next issue that PGX did is kind of back-to-back. And again, iconic cover of the 90s. This just screams the 90s. And you see that Erik Larsen is just taking Venom, instead of those comparisons to Todd McFarlane, Erik Larsen started breaking out of that, and people started taking note of his work and taking Spider-Man and calling it his own. I think this is another great cover where we see Spider-Man terrified that Venom, and look at that mouth, all that green gobbly-goo. I just think this is a great issue. Not always appearing on a lot of people's must-have or key issues, but if you grew up in that era, you definitely remember this cover and the next one we're going to showcase. So the next book is the very next issue in that Amazing Spider-Man run, and that is Amazing Spider-Man number 347. Another iconic, classic Erik Larsen cover. And when I look at this, it just brings back wonderful memories of me riding my bike and picking up comics at my local LCS. Often gets overlooked because people would target other issues, but this is one of those books to get now. And there's actually some spec behind Amazing Spider-Man number 347 in the sense that Spider-Man and Venom go to that Venom Island and have an altercation. And we saw at the end of Venom 2, Eddie Brock was stuck on an island. So how they're going to utilize that going forward, there's been some speculation that Venom Island is going to be a factor going forward. So in this issue is the very first appearance of that Venom Island. And again, PGX just did such a wonderful job. It got a 9.2, and I remember this is really why I like to deal with PGX. When I submitted this book, I didn't initially want it to get clean and pressed. I thought it looked good. Well, I got a call back. I spoke with the wonderful staff there, and they suggested that this would be a great candidate to get clean and pressed. There's a little bit of here, a little bit of that. That right now would be kind of an 8.5, but if you utilize that, it'll bump it up. And sure enough, it sure as hell did. And that's why I like dealing with PGX. They're real. You talk to the same people month in, month out that actually care about your books and sending it back and getting your satisfaction. These guys work for that. Versus CGC is just some random dude in a cubicle and I'll type it in on the notes and submit it. But no, this team at PGX actually works together to make sure that the end product meets your satisfaction. So Amazing Spider-Man number 347. Fantastic job. The next book I want to showcase is probably more significant to me than everybody else, but Amazing Spider-Man number 55, 856 in the overall. And this is the second print. I love the second print a little bit more than the first and even the third, just because of that red and black tone. I think this is one of those sleepers where the second print down the road will be more valuable than just the first print. But what makes this special to me is this is the first 9.8 that I've received. That's right, I'm ecstatic. And I know I said I don't make a big deal about 9.8s and all that other stuff, but it looks great. It's one of those books that I'm going to store away, but I just love the way how this is presented. With black is tough, to keep clean, especially those older books. When you get a white and black cover, they usually, even the ones from the LCS, it's not always a guaranteed you're going to get a high grade. And the fact that I got it on this issue is just wonderful. So, Amazing Spider-Man number 55. Now, in the beginning of the episode, and everybody knows that follows me regularly, I cover modern IDW G.I. Joe comics. And there are certain covers that are just more iconic, issue number 21, issue number 1. But for me, issue number 43 is actually my favorite G.I. Joe cover of all time. This screams of literally a Megadeth or a Iron Maiden cover. I totally picture that when I see this. And I love this, especially Halloween's around the corner. This is one of those issues that I don't even give a damn it's a 6.5. And even though it's a 6.5, it presents beautifully. You look at the front cover, yeah, you got these little things, but overall the end product is something that I treasure. Who cares if it's a 6.5? The fact that it looks like so cool, I can't wait to hang this up on the Retro Room, and I'm going to do so with pride. PGX did a great job, and of course you got the first appearance of Scrap Iron, death of Softmaster and Kane. This is a very important, significant issue. As far as the G.I. Joe mythos. And to get it cleaned and pressed and then ready to be put on the shelf is really something that I'm ecstatic about. So G.I. Joe issue number 43, the Iron Maiden Megadeth cover. Now, even though I featured these in previous episodes of New to Vero 2, I wanted to bring them out again because, the theme of this episode, you guys know that I focus in on healthy alternatives to, let's say, Amazing Spider-Man number 300. Well, the prices for that, if you look at them, are just getting way out there. And maybe it's not, especially for us Gen Xers with the mortgage, kids, cars, whatever you want to have it, they may be out of your price range. But there are healthy alternatives to look into and to get now for future spec. And the one book that I think that often gets overlooked, and I've been saying this during that episode, is Amazing Spider-Man number 299. The first whether the issue before it, 298 or 299, are really good books to pick up if 300 is way out of your price range. The only bad thing about 298 and 299 is the white cover. And that's what did this one in. And it's a newsstand variant, like I pointed out. Yes, it is a newsstand, but the white in a newsstand is like, the fact that it got a 5.5. I mean, this is just in the PC personal collection. I would never sell this just because, there's no point into selling it. What I paid to get it graded and to hang up on the wall behind me, that's what this issue is. But for you guys, look for the direct edition and start targeting issue number 299 over 300 as a feasible alternative to that iconic issue. Well, that wraps up this month's one of two. Remember, there's going to be at the end of the month a special Halloween PGX unboxing, and wait till you see the titles for that episode. Hulk 180, that's something for you guys to look forward to. And I'm glad to share this information to showcase that they're all alternative to CGC. And I think that it's healthy to invest because we're the consumer and we have to invest in companies for them to survive. EGS is just a small family business. PGX is a lot smaller than CGC. You know, they've been making such an effort to get customer satisfaction. That is their target, their goal. Whatever happened in the past, all this other stuff. But collectively, that small group made it a point to focus in on providing the best service so the end result is appreciated by the consumer. And that's why I want to thank PGX for working with me on these episodes, for making wonderful suggestions to show, and you're the guys are going to benefit from this in the long run. Why wait 6-7 months on CGC, call some nameless person in a cubicle, hey, what's the status of my order? No. In PGX, the turnaround time is not as long. I mean, 2 to 3 months, I'm going to say that. But at the same time, the customer service is what I treasure. It's such a wonderful experience to deal with them, and I hope you guys also give PGX a try. The link is down below, and let them know that you were referred to by codename New202. Well, this is Shabu RU signing off.